Hello there. This is a triangle which is made by consecutive odd numbers. The requirements for these tasks are: given the triangle of consecutive odd numbers, calculate the row sums of this triangle from the row index, starting at index 1. So, what is required? He wants us to create a function that is adding the numbers in any given row. The function will be called row sum odd numbers, and it takes one argument. The argument is the row number. So when we call the function row sum odd numbers 2, this will add all the numbers in row number 2. So row number 2 is this row. This will add 3 plus 5. The results will be 8. The function will return 8. When we call row sum odd numbers 3, this will go to the row numbers 3, this row, and it will add all the numbers together. 7 plus 9 plus 11, it will equal 27. So first things first, before we dive into writing the function, we have to find the equation that is building this triangle. He will give us the row number as an argument, which is 2 in this example. We need to find what is the first number in this row. Or if he give us row sum odd number, if we call row sum odd numbers 20. So the first thing we need to know is what is the first number in the 20th row. Here are the end result after I created the equation, but let's go into it one by one. So the first row, which starts with the number 1, it only has one number but starts with number 1. So what we are going to say, what we can assume is 1, the result of this first row, is equal 1 multiplied by the previous row, which is 0, plus 1. Second row starts by the number 3. So second row, the 3 number here is the result of the second row multiplied by the previous row, which is 1 plus 1 equal 3. Third row starts by 7. So 7 is the result of the third row, 3 multiplied by the previous row, 2 plus 1. And etc. The fourth row, 13, is the result of 4 multiplied by 3 plus 1, 21. 5 multiplied by 4 plus 1, 31. 6 multiplied by 5 plus 1. So we can make a general equation here. N multiplied by n minus 1 plus 1. By this we can get any number, any first number in the triangle. When he gives us row sum odd numbers 20, we can put 20 and then we'll get the first number in this. And when we get this first number, then we have the whole numbers in this row. Because if you can see here, this is the first row, for example, it has 1 item. Second row has 2 numbers. Third row has 3 numbers. So now we know that each n row has n numbers. And also the difference between each number are 2. So the fourth row has 4 numbers, and the difference between each number and the other one is 2. So we can guess when we apply this equation, we will know that the first number in the fourth row is 13. Then we know that next 3 numbers are 15, 17, and 19. So all the numbers are known to us. So now it's time to write the equation. We will create a function that is called row sum odd numbers. And we'll take one argument, which is n. We'll create a variable This variable will hold our equation that we got here, n multiplied by n minus 1 plus 1. In this variable, we are going to hold the value of the first number of any given row as an argument. He will give us the row as an argument, then we want to hold the first, we want to get the first value of this row. So this will be equal to n multiplied by n minus 1 and plus 1. Let row array equal array. In this variable, we are creating another variable that is an array. We are going to hold all the row numbers we get in this array. We will start by putting the value of the first row number there. Now we are going to create a for loop that is going to loop through the values in the row, and then the for loop is going to push each value in the row array we have here. Now we are going to create a for loop that is going to loop through all the values in the array. We know for sure that from here, we know that the n row has n numbers of items, of numbers. So the third row has 3 numbers. So we will create a for loop that is going to loop through all these three numbers. And we know also that the difference between each number and the previous one is only 2. So we're going to add this to the numbers, as I'm going to show you this in the function. So for loop so the I equals 0, and then the I is less than n minus 1 because we are starting at 0. So here, what we are going to put here is the row array push. The push function in the array, we are just pushing an element inside the array. So here simply we are pushing an element inside this array and adding 2 to it, because we know the difference between each number and the next one is 2. So to test that, let's return the array. And let's call the function here. Here we are calling the function, we are passing the argument 2, which is calling the second row. So second row is 3 and 5, as we can see here. Second row 3 and 5. Let's put 3, 7, 9 and 11. 7, 9 and 11 for the third row. So it's working fine, but this is not the requirement. What is required here is the sum of this element. So what is required is 7 plus 9 plus 11. So we'll create another variable, we'll call it sum. This will hold the sum of all the elements, and then we are going to create, let's comment this, and then we are going to create another for loop that is going to loop through the array elements, that is going to loop through here, this array 7, 9 and 11, and then is going to add them together. So sum will be equal plus equal array row array I. So this is simply making the sum equal. The sum initially was 0, then it will go to the first row array item, here the 7, it will add 7 to the 0 to be 7, then it will loop again because it's less than array.length, and then we'll add 9 to the 7, and then we'll add 11 to the 9 and 7. So the result will be, it should be 27. Let's return the sum and then run it again. Yeah, 27. Let's test it with row number 2. Run it again. 8. That's right. So here's the equation. Here's the function that is required to be created, and everything is working fine. And see you in the next video.